Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel Health Dominance. Anthony here. Please remember to like and subscribe, and also click that notification bell if you're enjoying what you're seeing and if you want to see more. Coming up, Israel Folau finds his way into a Japanese rugby union. Blake Ferguson in arrest by Japanese police. And Frank Pritchard in a serious condition due to COVID. So we'll begin today with the sad news about retired Canterbury, Penrith, Parramatta, Hull FC and New Zealand Test star Frank Pritchard having to be induced into a coma due to complications related to COVID that have been reportedly causing collapsed lungs for the former Test star and NRL great. It was on New Year's Eve that Canterbury Bulldogs CEO or recruitment boss Phil Gould took to Twitter and said, "Hearts and prayers with former Bulldogs Frank Pritchard, who is in hospital battling COVID. We'll send all our best wishes and a fully and speedy recovery. Our love to Frank's family and friends." This was on New Year's Eve when this tweet was sent out, due to the 38-year-old being on life support as a result of the complications. There was other major health issues which resulted in the as a result of the contracting the virus, but it seems to be that Pritchard is out of the woods a little bit, shall we say, due to the follow-up Twitter on New Year's Day, as it was Gould again who said, just an update on Frank Pritchard from his brother. He is out of the coma and in a ward. Lungs are still weak but in stable condition. We'll keep you updated. Prayers are helping. Thanks everyone. COVID is still virulent in Australia, who have preferred lockdowns to a sweeping vaccination policy, in trying to get people to vaccinate, and there are some states that say you have to be vaccinated before you can get back to work. I really don't know what Frank Pritchard's stance is. He's never been public on it, about the vaccine, about COVID or anything like that. But if you are unsure of how bad the virus can be, this big gentleman who's 38 years old, who played sport since he was 18 at a top level, is in hospital with an induced coma being part of it, and serious other complications. So consult your doctor, get all the information that you need to make sure that the vaccine is right for you. If there's no health issues about it that you need to not get it, go get it. If your doctor said there's no health issues related to it that could have any side effect because of the vaccine or even the booster, go get it. You're not just helping yourself, you're helping others around you. You're helping COVID be enough that we can live with it, rather than live in hospital with it. I know I keep going on about the sermon. I've had my vaccines, I've had my booster, I've got my vaccine passports and everything like that, all my records. Means that I've got a little bit more freedom. Like we keep saying, freedom of choice, but no freedom against consequence. All I can say is get well soon, Frank. No one deserves to have this virus. And we'll continue with the former rugby league players, as a former Australian Rugby League international, Blake Ferguson, has been arrested by Japanese police after allegedly being caught in possession of illegal drugs. According to local media, police were called to a restaurant in Roppongi area of Tokyo on Thursday after the 31-year-old Ferguson was allegedly involved in an altercation with another patron. The winger, who left Parramatta at the end of 2021 to try his hand at Japanese club rugby union, was then searched by Azabu, a police station, and allegedly found with drugs, reportedly cocaine. The 31-year-old, who won the premiership with the Roosters in 2018, signed for the NEC Green Rockets, where former Wallabies mentor Michael Cheika is currently the coaching director. The club's domestic season is newly renamed League One, begins on the 8th of January against the Yokohama Cannon Eagles for the Green Rockets. But following the arrest, and given that drug possession is viewed seriously in Japan, it is being said that Ferguson's future in the 15-man game is now in serious doubt. The Green Rockets confirmed they were aware of Ferguson's arrest in a statement, and they said they are assisting police with all their inquiries. In the statement, it said Blake Ferguson, a contracted player belonging to NEC Green Rockets Tokatsu, was arrested on the 30th of December on suspicion of possession of illegal drugs, the club said in that statement. We deeply apologise for causing a great deal of concern and inconvenience to everyone involved. Our team fully cooperates with the police investigation and strives to understand the situation. Now, it's not the first person with NRL ties this pre-season who has actually been caught with drug use, and we have covered that in previous videos before. But we understand that it is a bit of a problem that's creeping further and further into the game, cocaine with NRL players. I'm just looking at it from an outsider's point of view. The NRL seems to not have any policy when it comes to drug use for any of their rugby league players. But personal drug use, shall we say, not when it comes to performance enhancers. I don't know what the policy is on that, but they don't randomly drug test. They just don't. You can see it. There's no policy in place, and it has been commented that on social media by a few people that they have been in touch with the NRL, and they say that they don't drug test, which sends all sorts of suspicions about the sport and also the people involved for the season, for the actual game. Now, to be clear, the NRL abides by the International World Athletics anti-doping rules, but they do not have any officers that enforce it unless clubs' anti-doping officers report any infractions that players do have. Then the NRL step in as part of the integrity unit, after which they will determine whether or not the player should face bans or are clear to continue. False negatives, everything like that. But it's up to each and every club to report any instance of their players failing drug tests. It's not the NRL that do it, not the ARLC. It's the clubs. It's like the iceberg. It's trying to solve the issue with sinking the Titanic. There is always going to be favouritism and that. Oh, it's only that. It's as we've seen with cocaine. I've got a feeling that it's more prevalent in NRL players than we think, or even rugby players as a whole. It's got to be stricter. We might have a better competition because of that, and less injuries. And we end today with Israel Folau, as he played his first game for his new club over the Christmas period. His new side, the Shining Arcs, are a Japanese-based rugby club in Tokyo Bay, and more importantly, are a 15-a-side code variety team club. That means Folau has left rugby league behind after a short hiatus from Union, following his sacking from Rugby Australia in 2019 for homophobic comments. It was reported in 2019 that Folau took to social media and wrote, "Drunks, homosexuals, adulterers, liars, fornicators, thieves, atheists and idolaters, hell awaits you," which is a breach of Rugby Australia's high breach of the Rugby Australia Players Code of Conduct and upheld their dismissal. He had a deal with Rugby Australia until 2022, but had to go back to rugby league, which was a bit controversial in its own right with the Catalan Dragons. He then moved on to Gold Coast with the Southport Tigers. He was a rangy runner, played in the Super League season in 2022 and excelled in the south of France before Folau headed back down under at the end of the season. He was still contracted with the Dragons, but Folau and his management team struck a deal with the French club to release him from his contract as the 32-year-old began a more relaxed bout in his career, as he went to the Gold Coast Leagues, playing with his brothers at the Tigers. And in an even more bizarre twist of fate, Folau has put his hat into politics, alongside businessman, mining magnate and Southport owner Clive Palmer, who is a bit controversial as well, which could see the rugby superstar become part of the Unified Australia Party. However, in the meantime, Folau is now the part of the Shining Arcs as he heads into the 2022 Rugby League 1 season, and he played a part in the Shining Arcs pre-season game against the Shizuoka Blue Revs, as he played on Christmas Day, the pre-season match. It's an interesting turnabout for Folau, as he looks like he's trying to get back in with rugby union, which is going to be very, very difficult. Yes, he's played in that pre-season match and he's playing for the Japanese club in Tokyo Bay. I think it's highly unlikely that he'll ever play for an Australian club or in the Australian national team. I think he'll go back to rugby league again in the summer, but he'll play rugby union or Japan in the winter, just to play rugby for the fun of it. But yeah, he's finding a way into doing as much as possible at the highest level as possible, which is his right, obviously, even though he breached rules for the international team, what they set out, and has been kind of mean to his fellow man. We'll see how he gets on, but I feel that it will be only at these levels that he'll ever play his sport. But if it's getting him a good whack, no problem, eh? And that's it for another episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to go on to like, subscribe, and also click that notification bell for the channel to get any updates and videos coming your way in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are on today's episode and what you think the way forward is for each of these stories. What do you think about Israel Folau trying to get back into rugby union? He's playing in Japan, he's got a few mates over there that he'll end up playing against. But I think it's right that he's working his way back after what he said. It was only a couple of years ago, but people are looking back even further to cancel other people, and that's what it seems like, a cancelling due to what people said in the past. What about the NRL's drug policy? Do you think it's a bit lax? After we've seen 4 different instances in drug use of cocaine over the summer for players that are with and former players NRL. And Frank Pritchard, we wish him all the best. Please comment below thinking of Frank Pritchard, wishing Frank Pritchard the best in the comments. And I'm sure that the more noise we make, the more that people hear it. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to share this video worldwide, as it's a way to get a rugby league word out there. I hope to give you all the news as possible. Later in the week there will be more from my predictions for the Super League season, so please stop by. But in the meantime, stay safe, all the best, and I'll see you in the next video.